Chapter 18, The Siege. After his failed attempt at running away, Lucas became a trusted partner to Sue and Ulysses. They had developed a daily routine, watching the camera for raiders while keeping the bunker functioning. All three of them contributed to their survival. A well-oiled team. Sue found Lucas an intelligent and skilled conversationalist. If she ignored his many conspiracy theories, the government had become an evil monster in his eyes. Ulysses proved himself as a capable protector and a skilled tactician, but he disliked idle conversations, frowning as the two of them carried on about the topic of the day. She had renewed hope for a secure future as they looked for a way to restore civilization, supplies, companionship, and shelter. Time passed in a blur under the artificial lights inside of the bunker. Sue lost track of how many days and nights passed, missing the feeling of the sun warming her skin. She felt guilty missing the outside. The safety of their underground home should have been enough to make her happy. A better life than wandering in the wilderness, dodging raiders. Typical human nature, wanting what you couldn't have. She drifted off to sleep with these conflicting emotions gnawing at her. The speaker in the observation room erupted with screaming and pounding, a racket jolting Sue awake from a troubled sleep. Sue took a deep breath, trying to slow her pounding heart. Ulysses' knife glinted in her flashlight beam as she tried to make sense of the racket, a rude awakening. She leapt from her bed, trying to keep pace with Ulysses as he rushed to the monitors. Memories of the night of Lucas's arrival came to mind, except tonight's noises had a threat to them. Her mouth went dry at the sight of more than a dozen armed men clustered in front of their door. The veins on Ulysses' neck bulged. "Who are they?" Sue asked. As soon as the words left her lips, Sue realized how stupid the question was. How would Ulysses know these people if she didn't? They could be raiders, or the people who built and stocked the bunker. He shook his head. "They're government agents. Apparently, they found me," Lucas said. They turned toward Lucas, not realizing he had followed them into the security room. Neither the look on his face nor his voice betrayed any fear of the crowd outside of the bunker. Ulysses glared at Lucas, his hand hesitating above the microphone control. After a momentary delay, he pressed the button on the panel. "Who are you? What the hell do you want?" His voice boomed with authority. She swore she felt the vibration from his voice shake the floor of the bunker. "Open up! We're here for Lucas. Hand him over and we'll leave you alone. If you don't, you're in trouble from the U.S. government." "What the hell, Lucas? What do they want from you?" Ulysses turned his wrath on the smaller man. Lucas took a step back before responding. "I told you about my forced role in this disaster. I thought I covered my tracks when I ran off, but they found me. Let me go and they'll leave the two of you alone." Tears streaked down Sue's face. She couldn't believe what he said. This couldn't be happening. It had to be a dream. Those men would kill Lucas if they opened the door. Ulysses ignored Lucas's request, speaking into the microphone again. "There's nobody here by that name. Look, I'm done playing nice. Our tracker led us to him here. Quit lying and hand over Lucas. You don't want the full force of the government coming down on you." Lucas shook his head, strolling toward the door. He walked with his shoulders held high, confident, like a man heading to the park during a pleasant summer day. Sue broke her silence. "Lucas, no! They'll kill you!" He turned toward her, smiling. "I'm way too valuable for them to kill me. They need me to keep this charade going. Thank you for helping me. I'll miss you both." The door creaked open after Lucas punched the code into the keypad. Ulysses sprung from his seat, filling the door frame behind the smaller man. Betraying Lucas went against Ulysses' character. Lucas raised his hands. "I'm here. Take me back." Sue trembled as the leader pointed his gun at Lucas. The grin plastered across the man's face sent a shiver down her spine. He looked like pure evil. "Smart move, jackass. Let's move. Don't get any bright ideas about coming after us, giant. I won't be so pleasant if I see you again. I shoot first and ask questions never." He rolled with laughter after delivering his speech. Ulysses jerked the gun out of his hand with one swift move, pointing it in the man's face. "Where are you taking him?" Ulysses' words were laced with threat. Sue hadn't seen him like this since the day he killed the raiders with his bare hands. The leader responded with a renewed bout of laughter. "None of your concern. This is government business, not yours. Look around you. Don't be stupid. If you shoot me, my men will kill you and your friend. I tell you what, keep the gun as my gift." Multiple guns pointed at Ulysses. He didn't blink, but redirected the barrel of the gun toward the ground. The leader grabbed Lucas's arm, yanking him away from the bunker. Sue watched the muscles in Ulysses' shoulders flex as he watched them leave. A man of action struck impotent. "Shit!" Ulysses swore as he watched the group walk away. He stepped back as the door closed, locking itself into place. Sue felt the combination of anger and fear radiating off the man, sharing his mixed feelings. She placed her hand on his rigid, muscular arm, an attempt to comfort him like he had done for her so many times. His jaw tightened at her touch. "There's nothing we could have done to stop them from taking him, Ulysses. We were outnumbered and outgunned." His muscles stiffened as he pulled away from her. The movement felt like a reflection of his failure rather than anger directed toward her. Either that, or she had projected her feelings onto his actions. "I should have stopped him from walking out the door. They wouldn't have gotten inside the bunker if he hadn't opened the door." "They would have waited outside until we came out, or destroyed the bunker trying to get in. What they did wasn't right, but how would we have stopped them? There's only 2 of us and over a dozen of them." Ulysses shook his head as his gaze drifted across the floor. He turned, trudging off, leaving Sue staring after his retreating form. Her insides twisted with regret. The tears flowed as her legs gave out and she sunk to the floor. She sat for hours, weeping over Lucas's fate, until no more tears would come. Sue spent the night after Lucas left, tossing and turning. She wondered if sacrificing Lucas's life had been worth ensuring their safety. Life felt pointless if they couldn't stand up to evil. Had the world been a better place before the attack? After determining she wouldn't get any sleep, Sue rose from the bed to sit in front of the monitors in the control room. The glow from the display bathed her in an eerie light. She switched between the camera feeds with no thought behind her actions. Sue hoped to see Lucas's return, like when he disappeared the first time. Hope surpassed the foolishness of her overnight vigil. He had left on his own accord the first time, not kidnapped by a mob. Movement caught her eye as she flipped through the camera feeds. A shiver went down her spine as she searched for the intruder. She clicked on each button, examining the monitors. The first time through the cameras showed nothing new. She doubted her sanity, trying each feed over again. Each showed nothing. Had she imagined the threat? She thought about waking Ulysses, but he had turned solemn, remaining mute after Lucas left. Her own smiles had felt forced too. No sense waking him, since she found no threat. Just her imagination. She needed sleep. "Morning, Sue. What are you doing out here?" His words caused Sue to start. Sometime after her imagined excitement at the cameras, sleep overtook her. Now she knew the stiffness of sleeping in an uncomfortable office chair firsthand. It brought back memories of Lucas's first night in the bunker. "Couldn't sleep." He sighed, dropping into the other chair. "Yesterday was tough." "Do you think we'll ever see Lucas again?" Ulysses' eyes dropped to the floor. "No idea. I should have stopped him from going with those men." "You didn't have a choice." Ulysses was tough, but he couldn't have fought all those armed men by himself. He met her eyes. Pain lined his face. "There's always a choice, and I chose easy." Sue pondered his words. Their time in the bunker had eroded any illusion of freedom of choice, a stay based around raw survival. But Ulysses was right. In those frantic moments with the armed mob, there had been a choice. They chose acquiescence over resistance. Would they have fought for Lucas if they could turn back time? Where had their courage gone? "I put some coffee on. Let's grab something to eat. We need to figure out if it's safe to remain here in the bunker." He stood with one of his big patented smiles on his face, holding his hand out to Sue. His words froze her in place. "What do you mean, not safe?" "Even if they don't kill Lucas, I'm sure they'll make him talk. Once he tells him about the supplies, we're doomed. They know where we are, and they will use force to take them away from us. I don't like the idea, but we have to move on." Sue's head spun, her stomach churned. His logic made sense, but the thought of leaving the safety of the bunker terrified her. The raider with the leather jacket was still out there, along with a new group of enemies. Shit! Shit! Shit!